welcome to the Memory Lane 80 show on Spotlight TV. I'm Hayley Palmer, really good to have you here with me this evening. Now, as you know, we have had Mike and Jay from the Fizz, formerly known as Bucks Fizz, on the show. The good news is tonight's guest is the one and only Cheryl Baker. Yes, she is here with us tonight, and here is what happened when I caught up with her. Cheryl Baker, it's brilliant to see you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you very much. I'm fit and well.
Oh, how's lockdown for you? Because I know that you're kind of in your country house, aren't you?
Yeah, we live in the middle of Kent and we're surrounded by fields and fruit. It's a big fruit farm. We don't own it. We must have the house that, I don't know, maybe the farm manager used to live in or something. So there's no neighbours. There's just trees and birds and fruit. It's fabulous. I mean, honestly, lockdown for me has been relaxing. I've gardened. I never knew that I had green fingers. I don't think they're green actually. I think
That's
they're just
very impressive, Cheryl.
I know they're a bit turquoise. They're not really green, but I've grown all my own veg and lovely flowers. It's great. It's great.
That's really good because my mum says to me, gardening's really hard work. I'll come back from the gym and she go, "You don't know anything. Wait till you get into the gardening. You know, that's the hard bit."
It's true. It's great exercise.
Brilliant. I know, maybe I should get into gardening, Cheryl, but honestly, I'm just kind of, you know, working my way through daytime TV and the snacks. It's all going wrong. I do like a good board game, though, and, you know, try to keep entertained.
Oh, listen, Kyla and Natalie are my twins, right? And they don't live at home anymore, but when lockdown was threatened, like in the middle of March, they said, "Mum, we're coming home," because of where we live, it's a very safe place. There's nobody here, you know. So they both came back and they made a board game called Coronaropoly.
Wow,
and
genius.
I know. And instead of community chest and chance, you've got a Boris bonus or government guidelines. And it's brilliant. Honestly, it's great fun to play. It's very clever. And they made all these little models of the family, you know. It's great.
Brilliant. I need to play this. I'm more on like Connect 4 level, but no one's ever beaten me on that. I am the Connect 4 queen. So I challenge anyone that wants to take me on. Now, your first song choice, Amen, the Fizz. Yes, so catchy when I heard this.
I know, it's not a typical Fizz sounding song. And it was written by my daughter Kyla. I mean, obviously, is it nepotistic, the word? Anyway, because she's my daughter, I really wanted us to record it. And we've been recording with the great Mike Stock from Stockacre and Waterman. And we submitted this song. Yeah, I know, it's amazing. We submitted this song and he said, "Yeah, let's do it." And, you know, none of us really sure because it sounded so different. But with our vocals, we have a particular vocal sound. It does sound like Fizz, and I think the Fizz fans loved it because it was taking us on a different kind of route than we normally have. So it was released as a single as well, not just an album track. So I was very, very happy that we recorded Amen.
Well, we're all happy as well here to see the video. Let's check it out. Here it is, Amen by the Fizz.
Saving secrets for the grave that are not my own to save. Treading on your line, never crossing mine. I am practically a stranger that has put myself in danger. What a foolish move that I can't undo. "Why are you looking after me?" she said. "If I could tell you what's inside my head, well, then you would realize till death will I die, always and forever, amen. Amen. The eagle can't fly with the dove. All isn't fair in war and love. But maybe we could just pretend swear that I will sign on the line. Why are you looking after me, she said. If I could tell you what's inside my head, well, then you would realize till death will I die, always and forever, amen. Amen. The eagle can't fly with the dove. All isn't fair in war and love. But maybe we could just pretend. One little white light till death will I die, always and forever, amen, amen. I ain't afraid of dying, I'm more afraid of living life alone. If you break it, then you're buying. You claim you'd never know. The eagle can't fly with the dove. All isn't fair in war and love. But maybe we could just pretend. One little white light till death will I die, always and forever, amen. One little white light till death will I die, always and forever, amen, amen.
Cheryl Baker, it's great to have you here with me on the show. Actually, a lot of your fans have been saying, when can we have Cheryl on? So I was like, don't worry, we'll do our best.
I'm here.
She's here. I mean, we've had the lovely Jay on. We've had brilliant Mike Nolan. Big shout out to them, by the way, if they're watching. And so what was your first impressions when, you first met Bucks Fizz, like the rest of the gang?
Oh, well, my first impression, you see, the first one I saw was Mike, because I don't know if Mike and Jay told you, but we were built around Mike Nolan. He was the nucleus of Bucks Fizz, because the woman who put us together was his good friend, and he actually did the demo of Making Your Mind Up. He did all the male vocals for Making Your Mind Up. And so when it got through to the Song for Europe, when it was chosen to be one of the songs for the Song for Europe, then Nicola had to put a group together and call it Bucks Fizz, because that was her favourite drink. And she said, right, Mike, I need to get two. Yeah. She says,
one today.
She said to Mike, we need 2 girls and 2 boys. I'm going to invite Cheryl Baker because I know her, and she did the Eurovision before, because I did it in 1978. So she knew that I'd been in a girl boy band and singing vocals and a bit of dancing, and I ticked all the boxes. So I went home to her house in Fulham. She opened the door, and facing the door was the stairs going up, and coming down the stairs was this Adonis, this beautiful bloke. He was tanned, he had pecs. He had a towel on. He had a white fluffy towel sort of wrapped around his lower half, but hanging on his hip sort of thing, And he was beautiful.
Wow.
And that was Mike Nolan. That was my first vision of Mike Nolan.
And nothing's changed.
And I thought then, oh, blimey, he's nice. So.
We love Mike.
And then Jay and Bobby I didn't see until... because we all auditioned at different times, apart from Mike, he was in anyway. So, and we were introduced one Sunday, the first or the second Sunday of January, at Nicola's, and we literally went into her lounge, and she said, "You 4 are Bucks Fizz. Cheryl, meet Jay, meet Bobby. You've met Mike," and literally that was it. I mean.
And it's quite hard, isn't it, to just suddenly get on with everyone?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like you don't know anyone, and everyone's got strange habits. It's tough.
Yeah, it is tough but it's like anyone going into a new office if they work in an office or wherever you work. If you work in a shop,
because you were a secretary before, weren't you, Cheryl? You were a secretary.
Yeah,
Me
for 5
too.
years. Yeah.
Shorthand,
So,
that's
you
what I
know,
did.
Yes, that's it. That's it. Pitmans.
Yeah, that's what I did.
So-
It's not needed right now.
No, but I still do it just in case I need to get a proper
yes.
job again. But
Me
you know,
too.
it's like going into any workforce where you meet new people. You don't necessarily get on with them. You just work with them, and that, unfortunately, is what Bucks Fizz was like. I mean, we were, especially me and Bobby, we were oil and water. We never mixed. I mean, we didn't socialise. And Jay, at that time, Jay was 19 when we started in the band. And I was 27. So, so it sounds a lot actually, 8 years, but it's not. It's 7 years and 10 months. But 7 years and 10 months at that age is a hell of a lot. Now it's no
really
difference
is.
at all. When you get into your 30s, it doesn't matter. 7 years is nothing.
Yeah.
But when you're a teenager working with someone who's 28, it's a vast difference. And so we had nothing in common. So that was the issue. So therefore, me and Mike became inseparable and are still to this day.
Welcome back to the Memory Lane 80 show on Spotlight TV. I'm Hayley Palmer and loving having you here with me on the show tonight. Now we have got the lovely Cheryl Baker on the show with us tonight, and here is what happened when I caught up with her some more. We're going to go through your next song choice, Africa, Toto. Yes, absolute tune, Cheryl.
It's just an amazing song. It's all about the vocals for me, and I think I like, looking at my choice of songs, I quite like that sort of West America sound, especially the vocal sound that they get. So Toto, what a great band, and what a fantastic song Africa is.
Really is. Well, it hit number 3 in 1983. Let's check out the video. Here it is. Now, Cheryl, I want to talk to you a little bit about the choreography because I used to dance myself, and it is just very together, very slick, but very in time, and that's pretty hard to do. But I know your daughter has had something to do with this, hasn't she?
Well, the latest ones, yeah. I mean, we've always used choreographers in the past, even back in the Bucks Fizz days, you know, we used choreographers. But I just think that our band, we've always been a singy, dancey kind of band, you know, so I think that we needed choreography. And yeah, it's what Natalie does. Natalie's a choreographer. She's directed a lot, only like student choreography. It's not like a professional show, you know, not like in the West End or anything. But she's really good. Yeah. And so I spoke to Mike Stock and I said, you know, you're gonna do videos for these tracks. My daughter is a choreographer. Do you want to have a look at see what she does?
Brilliant.
He says, I trust you if you think she's good enough. And she did some great choreography. I was so pleased.
Mike said that she was very patient with him.
You need to be when you're working with Mike Nolan, let me tell you. Patience definitely is a virtue with Mike.
Brilliant. Well, we're going to show the video Winning Ways. I love the video to this, just fantastic. So let's have a little look.
Isn't it?
It really is. It really is. How long did it take to make the video?
Oh, we did it in a day. Was it a day or was it a day and a half? I think it was a day. But I love the makeup and everything. Natalie, by the way, is one of the dancers. She's the shortest of them all.
We need to look out for Natalie. Let's see if we can see her. Here it is, Winning Ways by the Fizz.
Tell me again your sad, sad story. How the world went wrong. Tell me about your fall of glory. How the world moved on. You're living for yesterday. winning ways.
Okay, Cheryl, let's talk dancing on ice, because you are my hero for A, taking part in that show, and B, even attempting to ice skate. Because me, I'm a dancer, but I can't even go round the edge without not holding on to the side.
No, well, you see, when I was very young, I lived in Bethnal Green in East London, and I used to get the Central Line train to Queensway, where there was a big ice rink.
Oh, yeah.
And you used to be able to put on these things on your legs that kind of held your ankle steady. And then, and I was young, I used to whiz around on the ice. I loved it because I felt safe with these things on my legs. So that was then. That was, when I was about 12. And then scroll forward to a couple of years back, and I was asked to do Dancing on Ice. And I did a trial run, actually. I had to go to Alexander Palace, and they've got a rink there. And I had to go around with a professional. He was one of the coaches, actually. And he took me round. Excuse me. And he was fantastic. And he was saying, just do everything I tell you, and everything I do. And I was doing everything that he was saying. And I loved it. And I was smiling. I was going, oh, this is great. That's why they chose me, because I really enjoyed myself. But when it actually came to doing it on my own, when I was training and I had to learn how to skate on my own, I was so terrified, and I fell a few times, and every time I fell I hurt myself, and in fact I injured a shoulder that will never get better. It's always going to be like it. So that then, as soon as I injured myself and I hurt myself, then I hated it. And my poor partner Dan Whiston, as much as I love him,
Isn't he lovely?
He's adorable, and I wouldn't let go of his hand.
Didn't he move in with you as well?
Yeah, he came and lived here in this house.
Love
while
it.
we were training. Do you know what? I used to drive to Gillingham Ice Rink, which is the closest one to me, and I'd be in a good mood. I'd be listening to music on the radio, drive, and then I'd see the brown sign saying ice rink, ahead, and my heart used to go.
I'd be the same.
I just,
no, it's tough, isn't it?
It's because I hurt myself. It just filled me with dread and terror, and so I loved it because I met Dan, who will be a soul friend of mine for the rest of my life. I swear. And I loved working with all the other pros and all the other celebrities. It was wonderful. I even did the tour. I loved everything except the skating. I hated the skating.
Well, no worries. You don't have to go ice skating again if you don't want to. But another thing I saw you in, Cheryl, was Footloose, the musical. Yeah. One of my favourite musicals of all time. I bet as soon as you just heard the song, it gives you goosebumps, doesn't it, straight away?
Well, we had to sing side stage, even if we weren't on stage. So all of the cast were involved from the very top of the show. And of course it starts been working so hard, and I would even just now doing it makes me go tingly. I remember I used to look on the stage, and all the dancers were on stage doing their moves and everything.
The dancing's phenomenal. Yeah.
Honestly, it was fantastic, and we had such an amazing cast. And my husband who played the vicar, is a guy called Steve McGann, who is he's the doctor in Call the Midwife. And we used to laugh like drains, honestly. And the guy who played the principal as well, the three of us, we were like the three amigos or the three musketeers. We just used to we laughed so much. And at the end of that show, there was, they used to call it the Mega Mix or the Mega Medley or something. And all the songs would be strung together, and everyone would come on, including us, to do the final dance routines. And Steve McGann he was such a bad dancer. And he'd go, and he used to pull this face and chew his tongue. And I honestly thought, I need to get myself tenor ladies, because I used to physically wet myself. And before the last scene, I used to think, right,
Cheryl, stop it.
Go to the toilet, because you could have an accident on stage. It's true.
Brilliant. Well, we're going to play out Footloose now. Cheryl's not going to wet herself. Here it is by Kenny Loggins. Check it out. Welcome back to the Memory Lane 80s show on Spotlight TV. I'm Hayley Palmer, and thank you so much for joining me on the show this evening. We are talking to the one and only Cheryl Baker, and here is what happened when I caught up with her some more. Now, Cheryl Baker, we have got an exclusive 80s fun quiz for you, because we like to do that on the show.
I love quizzes. I love quizzes.
I love quizzes too. Here we go. Favourite TV programme from the 80s?
From the 80s. I loved Cagney and Lacey.
Uh-huh.
I loved Moonlighting. I loved Moonlighting. Somewhere there's night, somewhere there's day. Oh, I loved it. Yeah, liked that.
Love that. Favourite piece of clothing from the 80s?
Well, if I can go to Bucks Fizz Outfits, my favourite piece of clothing was the outfit that Jay designed and made for Can't Stand the Heat. I thought it was amazing. She went to a local hardware store and bought a load of chamois leathers and dishcloths and made this amazing outfit. Yeah, that was my favourite.
Genius. Song most listened to in the 80s?
Probably, well, one of them would have been Africa, my choice. I loved anything by Nick Kershaw. I loved UB40. I was a big UB40 fan. Hall & Oates. So, anyway, I mean, really, I can't pick a song. It's got to be songs.
Okay.
So,
we'll let you have that.
Okay.
We'll break the rules. Thing you wish you could bring back from the 80s?
Okay. Aww.
I'd go with Top of the Pops.
Positivity,
yeah.
and Top of the Pops. Yeah. The beginning, the early years of the 80s, it was so great. It was such a great time to be around and to be in the music industry. The late 70s and going into 1980 was all a bit anarchic, and people and songs were all kind of unhappy, and and then the 80s came along and suddenly it was all flowers and making your mind up, colours, and it just seemed bright, and there seemed to be a lot of positivity about. So I would say bring that part of the 80s back. Not the late 80s. Late 80s was the opposite.
Okay. Just to clarify. Best thing a fan sent you in the 80s?
A teddy bear. I've got the teddy bear and it's on my bed right now. Can you see it? It's behind me. Yeah, that's a teddy.
Yes,
yeah,
I can just see Teddy's eyes.
Yes, that was given to me by a fan in the 80s and I've still got it, yeah. They used to give us a lot of cuddly toys and we used to usually take them to children's hospitals. But no, I kept that one because I liked it.
Yeah, we like it. We could just about see Teddy. We like that. Now, your next song choice, Shalimar, A Night to Remember. I want to get up and dance to this one immediately.
Don't you just? Shalimar, I loved. And last year we were doing some radio interviews at Wogan House at BBC Radio 2.
Oh, yeah.
And they were there. And I went, please, can I have, I've got photos of me with Shalimar. And we're gigging with them. We're gigging with them. It should have been this year, but it's been postponed to next year because of the COVID. Yeah. So next year we're gigging with them at in the northeast in August, I think it is. So I am so excited because they were one of my favourite 80s bands, Shalimar.
Yes. Well, we love this song. We want everyone up on your feet at home with a glass of Bucks Fizz. Here it is from 1982, number 5. It's Shalimar with A Night to Remember. Oh, Cheryl Baker, it's been amazing to have you on the show. Thank you so much.
I've loved it. I love having a good natter and talking about
having
the
a good
old
old
times,
chat, don't we?
And the new times.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
it's all good.
Yeah. We just need a little cup of tea and a chocolate digestive. Put the world to rights. It's all good, isn't it? Now, future plans. Obviously, this year we don't know, but next year, obviously, is going to be very busy for you guys.
Well, next year is our 40th anniversary since winning the Eurovision Song Contest. So, I know.
Wow.
It's pretty exciting. So, all the gigs that we had this year have been postponed to next year anyway. So, we've got all of those in place. So, they start in January. So, and then we won on April the 4th, which is actually next year is going to be Easter Sunday. So, we're hoping to do a gig on that night. We've got a hold on a venue, on a really nice venue, but we're talking to people about what kind of gig, and so it's nothing set in stone yet, but we definitely are going to celebrate our 40th, that's for sure.
Oh yes, we hope to all celebrate with you. Now your last song choice is, it just gives me goosebumps. Luther Vandross, So Amazing. Cheryl, why the song?
I fell in love with my husband to that song, to that album, the whole Give Me the Reason album. Yeah, it just brings back fantastic memories of. See, I'd known Steve for 12 years before we started going out together.
Yeah, I love this story. You were friends for 12 years, right?
Yeah, and he called me Cheryl in 12 years. He called me Cheryl because we were just working colleagues and mates. And then when we started going out, he started to call me Rita because, as you know, my real name's Rita. And I said, why are you calling me Rita? And he said, oh, well, your friends and your family, and it just makes life easier. And now, I don't think he ever thinks of me as Cheryl. He calls me Rita.
Oh, he calls Rita.
Yeah, but we had, So Amazing was our song. And our first dance when we got married was to So Amazing. And on our 10th anniversary, I know, you big softie.
I really am. I love your story about the friends though, because is it true? You were friends, and then one day you were just like, actually, I think we should be more than friends.
Yeah, no, I rang him and I said, I've got a problem, Steve. I know we're mates and everything, but I'm thinking about you a lot. And so he.
God, you were brave, Cheryl. I don't know if I could do that.
He came over and we went out and had something to eat, and I said, well, don't I get a kiss goodnight? I was a brazen hussy.
Cheryl, I need tips from you.
But anyway, yeah, so I persevered with him because he said, I don't want to lose you as a friend. So we've been married now for, 28 and a half years. So, yeah.
Oh,
but
well, we're going to play. Yeah.
What I was saying was that on our 10th anniversary, we had our vows renewed. And I walked down the aisle with our twin daughters as bridesmaids, and I walked down the aisle to So Amazing. So it means a lot to me, this song.
Wow, really special song. Well, here it is. We're going to play out Luther Vandross, So Amazing. Cheryl Baker, it has been incredible to have you on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you, I've loved it. Thank you.
We'll let you go back to your gardening now. Cheryl Baker, everyone. Thank you. Oh, we've now come to the end of the Memory Lane 80s show on Spotlight TV. I'm Hayley Palmer, and thank you so much for joining us this evening. And a huge thank you to the lovely Cheryl Baker. Just an absolute delight to have her on the show with us. Now, remember, I love hearing your feedback. I love hearing from you. If you haven't got in contact, why not? Details are on the screen below. I'm Hayley Palmer. Thank you so much as always. Stay safe, and I'll see you next week.
Saving secrets for the grave that are not my own to say. Treading on your line, never crossing mine.